during a pandemic. Plus, if you have plans to visit the Grand Canyon anytime soon, you might need to change them up just a little. And it's National Beer Lovers Day. The story behind the day and some ideas on how to celebrate. 12 of 12 starts right now, 12 minutes, no commercials, and now we are live statewide. So a big shout out to all of our viewers in Tucson. We're on TV and on the go on the 12 News app, Facebook, and YouTube. Hey guys, it is Jen here. Are you ready for the cool down? I think just about everyone is, thankfully, because it is finally on its way. Crystal is here now to tell us when those cooler temps are arriving and your forecast 411.
We are going to be on cloud nine. Mother Nature finally showing us a little love when it comes to our temperatures, but unlike J-Lo's song, this love does cost a thing. First, we've got to get through another day at the mercy of this excessive heat warning. Today's our 47th excessive heat warning day, where many temperatures could be reaching up for record territory below 4,000 feet across our state. Then we're going to be swapping out this warning for these warnings, from high wind warnings to red flag warnings. Winds are going to be racing up as high as 60 miles an hour in the alerted zones tomorrow of western Arizona, with humidity values tanking. Also, you know what that means, Mother Nature's powder keg. And it's not just in those areas. We've got to keep a close eye on the fire weather index. We'll also see a flare-up of extreme wildfire potential here between Phoenix and Tucson. Then get ready for a dramatic drop on the thermometer in just 2 days. By the middle of the week, about 20 degrees is what we're going to be knocking off from those morning and afternoon temperatures. And then just go ahead and step right into the freezer for those areas above 6,500 feet. Wednesday and Thursday morning, a cold wake-up call with some freezing temperatures in place. So across our state, be ready for those temperatures to tame down as the winds whip up heading into tomorrow. We might even see some light rainfall in our higher elevations. And then, look at those temperatures on Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Crystal. Well, as we continue to grapple with this blistering heat, young athletes are getting ready to light up the field for the first day of high school football. 2 months ago, it did not seem likely that the AIA would give the thumbs up for the season, but after some careful deliberation, high school teams were given the green light. Team 12's Mark Lieberman has more now on what parents can expect heading into the new season.
Well, high school football in Arizona is officially a full go starting today, and one of the teams that will be playing this season is Horizon High School here in Scottsdale. The AIA started approving the latest guidelines for fall sports from the Sports Medicine Advisory Committee last week. That means practices can officially begin today. There are some schools, though, that had already been practicing, but now they've got the green light to continue. But not all schools are starting today. Some have already opted for no fall sports, and some districts, like Phoenix Union, have their own timeline and different guidelines to start practices. The AIA will work with them to get on the schedule. We do know that as long as coronavirus numbers in Arizona stay down, games will start the week of September 30th for teams who haven't canceled their season.
We have 23 schools out of our association of 275 that said we're going to cancel fall sports. So we respect that decision. They are in areas of pretty big concern for their community.
As far as fans in the stands, each district will make that call, but there are still lots of questions, like what will game schedules look like and exactly how long will the season be? In Scottsdale, Mark Lieberman, 12 News.
All right, thank you, Mark. Turning now to the most updated COVID-19 cases in the state. The Department of Health announced this morning an additional 198 cases, so that brings the total cases in Arizona now topping more than 205,000 since the counts began. So 2 deaths were subtracted from the total by the state today, bringing that number to 5,219 lives lost so far to the virus. And the University of Arizona could bring back sports as early as this week after a slew of false positive COVID-19 tests. All athletic activities were canceled just a few days ago because of concerns over a possible COVID-19 outbreak. A group of retests proves there was an error in that testing. Officials believe something may be wrong with the testing equipment. Arizona plans to retest student athletes again tomorrow. Now, if those tests come back negative, sports could be back on the roster as early as Wednesday. And globally, COVID-19 infections have now surpassed 27 million with 880,000 deaths. The U.S. has the highest number of cases at almost 6.3 million, according to data released by Johns Hopkins University. Now, India comes in second with just more than 4.2 million cases. It surpassed Brazil today, which has currently 4.1 million cases. And good news here from the Phoenix Zoo. It plans to reopen its doors soon. Starting next Monday, there will be members-only days. Then the general public can enjoy the zoo once again starting on September 19th. Now, some experiences will remain closed, but Stingray Bay, camel rides, and the safari cruiser will all be back open. And don't forget, you can always find the latest details about the coronavirus and how it's affecting Arizona on the 12 News app. Well, as protests continue to plague U.S. cities, President Trump continues to grapple with ways to get cities back under control. A new memorandum is out that could impact funding for some of the largest cities in the country. We brought in the 12 News Verify team to break down what the president's latest rule change could mean in the long run.
This memorandum from President Trump was published Wednesday. It's written to Attorney General Barr and the Director of the Office of Management and Budget, or OMB. It calls for federal funds to be blocked from Portland, Seattle, New York, and Washington, D.C. The memo defines these cities as, quote, anarchist jurisdictions, cities that have, quote, permitted violence and the destruction of property to persist and have refused to undertake reasonable measures to counteract these criminal activities. So what does this mean for these cities? To find out, we spoke with attorney Edward Waters, who has worked on federal grant law for decades, and Professor Rick Sue, a constitutional law professor at the University of North Carolina. To start, both experts say this is outside the president's constitutional power.
Under the Constitution, the branch of government that is responsible for taxing and spending, and grants are spending tax dollars, of course, is the U.S. Congress, not the executive branch.
This is not the first time, I think, that the president has tried to steer local policy through the use of funding. We saw this through the sanctuary policies, presidential memorandum on sanctuary jurisdictions, where he also tried to withdraw funds.
In 2017, President Trump ordered that sanctuary cities stop receiving federal funding until they comply with federal immigration law.
That has been locked in courts right now since then. So I suspect that's going to follow a similar timeline.
So withholding federal funds is a constitutional power of Congress. And President Trump's last attempt to do it wound up in a legal battle that still hasn't been resolved. And that's why, according to our experts, this memo likely won't turn into real action.
Politically, there is a sense, at least the president wants to make it out, that there are certain communities that are under enforcing or not going against protesters as strongly as he would like. But legally, it's not clear that there's any clear line to draw here, right, between certain communities and another community.
And that's where we're at right now, a debate over whether this is a political opinion or a legally enforceable action. The memo gives the DOJ and OMB 30 days to come up with a plan for the president. In the meantime, none of these cities are having federal funds withheld. Folks, if you have other claims or questions for us to look into, send us an email. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Well, if you have plans to head to the Grand Canyon anytime soon, listen up. Effective immediately, the National Park Service has closed the Silver Bridge at the Grand Canyon to all foot traffic. This is due to structural safety concerns. Now, the Silver Bridge, which crosses the Colorado River along the Bright Angel Trail, is found at the bottom of the Grand Canyon near Phantom Ranch. There is no estimated time of repair for the Silver Bridge. And a lot of people are enjoying a day today. That's because it's Labor Day, of course. Well, Labor Day celebrates the contribution of workers to American society. The U.S. Department of Labor says it's unclear who came up with the idea, but it did start with unions. The Central Labor Union appears to have planned the first Labor Day in New York City in 1882. It became a yearly tradition, and municipalities and states then began to officially recognize it. Now, in 1894, Congress made Labor Day a national holiday that falls on the first Monday in September each year. Well, hashtag most clicked. Here are the stories piquing everyone's interest right now. Dairy Queen's plan to sell blizzard-scented candles blew out in just 1 hour. Can't imagine why. It's so delicious. The promotion to benefit the Children's Miracle Network was a viral sensation last week. That is amazing. The 6 candles that smelled like caramel apple pie blizzard, fudge brownie, and other soft serve ice cream desserts were gobbled up quickly, of course. Dairy Queen has not released the fundraising total yet, but at $25 for each set, Children's Miracle Network should be in for quite a treat. 100% of all proceeds benefit the Children's Hospital charity. Well, Arby's is selling 3 of its meats by the pound or half pound at 9 locations. It says COVID-19 sparked the idea since people can get the items right from the drive-thru. The cost is about $5 for a half pound or $9 for a pound, and the options include roast turkey, ham, and corned beef. Right now, this is just a trial run that ends later this month, so for now, this option is not available in our neck of the woods just yet, but keep checking in for that. And grab a mug. It's National Beer Lovers Day. Beer brewing has a long history. William Penn had a special place to make beer within his Pennsylvania colony. That spot in Pennsbury Manor is open to tourists and beer fans. There is no set recipe for beer, and the drink has evolved over the centuries. It often takes years for brewmasters to develop the expertise needed to make beer. Well, time now for a look ahead at the stories you'll be talking about a little bit later today. Video games seem to get more realistic every year, but this one takes it to a whole new level. Check it out. How you can turn your own house into a racetrack. Plus, have you ever wanted to just delete your social media for a little while? Well, you might be able to get paid to pull the plug on Facebook. And that's your 12 at 12, the facts on everything you need to know in just 12 minutes, no commercials. We are always on, anywhere, anytime on 12news.com, the 12 News app, and our socials as well. We'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for tuning in.